This week we are talking nothing but WrestleMania.
No Friday, no SmackDown.
So you know what? Let's start right there. We'll start right there with Friday Night SmackDown. We talked there before. Friday Night SmackDown this upcoming week from Crypto.com Arena, formerly known as the Staples Center, a former home of a WrestleMania 21, where John Cena and Batista were crowned the face of Ruthless Aggression era, I guess you could say, that night. But yeah, we talked about this before on what would bring me to go to that SmackDown / Hall of Fame. I went last year. I thought the SmackDown last year was definitely lacking, but I stuck around because, hey, it's The Undertaker. He was getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I don't know how that wasn't on more people's bucket list. I think that's the creme de la creme of Hall of Fame inductions, right? Am I wrong? Like if you were to want to go to a Hall of Fame ceremony for one person, it's gotta be The Undertaker. It's gotta be the biggest one they've ever had.
I mean, it's The Undertaker. There's very few wrestlers in the history of this business that have that factor that Undertaker has.
Yeah.
But Rey Mysterio, California?
Okay. Come on now. Okay. Like, I like Rey Mysterio, and I think it's great, and I think he's definitely Hall of Fame caliber. But if you tie his Hall of Fame ceremony in with this SmackDown and charge you whatever, at minimum of $50 to get in, I'm sorry, but this is just not selling it. I like the Under the Giant Battle Royal for what it is. It's great.
It will sell it in California, though.
Well, I mean, I think
he's big. He's big.
They're going to get a crowd regardless. That's the thing. They sell these tickets on sale like WrestleMania many months in advance. They're already, have sold 14,000 tickets for this show. There are, I think, still a few left to be had, but I think a majority of the tickets were announced way before anything was announced for the Hall of Fame. But this is kind of like one of those things we talk about with WrestleMania being 2 nights. When you already tell us the Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be that night, they have to pull out somebody, and they already put that on the ticket. And we were getting about 3 weeks ago, they had named nobody, and you're like, you got to pull out somebody or you owe people refunds.
Yeah, and they keep coming. I mean, as of today, Stacy Keibler's in.
But yeah, come on, let's be real. Okay, you got Rey Mysterio, you got Andy Kaufman, you got Stacy Keibler, and who else do you have on? And the Great Muta. Okay,
Great Muta, yeah.
I will say all of those people. I mean, Stacy Keibler, it is what it is. But all of those people.
Oh, you didn't like what Stacy did for the business?
I mean, it is what it. Like I said, it is what it is. I'm not saying I don't like what she did for the business.
I'm not surprised though that she got in because just like a week ago, she reactivated her Twitter account because I saw how you get like random Twitter handles that pop up, and it was like she's been off Twitter for 5-6 years, and miraculously she's back on, and then 2-3 days later it's like, oh, you're in the Hall of Fame now. Okay,
I mean, Rey Mysterio, great. I'd love to see that. By itself. He's worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. The Great Muta also as well. I'd love to see him maybe involved somehow. Obviously, we saw that he just recently retired at the New Japan stuff, and he put an end to his career. But it's too bad he never had a final swan song, let's say, in WWE. Andy Kaufman is definitely, when it comes to celebrities, I can't think of anybody who's more warranting of being in the Hall of Fame than Andy Kaufman when it comes to celebrities because of his involvement, his big shtick with Jerry the King Lawler back in the 80s. So many people thought it was real. It really brought in the question, wrestling, is it scripted? Is it real? They worked that amazingly. The issue, though, he's not around. So clearly he's not going to be doing too much talking for himself. So we won't be able to hear much out of Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
I imagine it'll be Jerry the King Lawler. Doing a lot. I imagine he's going to be the person inducting him, and he's going to be doing a lot of the talking for that.
I would say so. And I mean, that whole, we've all seen that story. I mean, it was, they really walked that line so well. And it was like they made people believe that this was actually real, like you said. And and if you can get that kind of cred, and Andy Kaufman, I remember watching a lot of the stuff, he wore the brace. He sold the hell out of it. That's kudos to him on that.
I mean, to be honest with you, though, Stacy Keibler, do I really care what she has to say? I mean, is there any great stories from the road? Again, this isn't The Undertaker. This isn't Vader. This isn't one of the boys. This isn't one of the guys who lived and breathed wrestling. Great. She had, that spot in WCW before she came in. She was big on the invasion angle. I mean, she definitely is important to the business, just like, a lot of people. But
so who inducts her, though? Who's inducting her? Do we know? I know the news came out today.
Well, I mean, Albert, maybe, because, she was...
TNA?
That's Trish. I
was going to say TNA. Yeah,
what group was she with Chuck and Palumbo? Chuck Palumbo?
She was with the Dudley Boys.
She was with the Dudley Boys, so maybe you could have somebody from the Dudley Boys, Devon particularly, because Bubba Ray's doing his own thing out there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a quick 5 minute. It's going to be the same as Queen Charmel last year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a quick 5 minute. Like, I don't foresee her talking about growing up watching wrestling and going to, wrestling academies or doing any of this stuff. It's going to be a quick thank you to the business. And that thank you to the business. If it wasn't for you, I would have never got the hook up with George Clooney.
Jeez.
I mean, she did, right? I mean, she was. I don't know if she was married to him, but I mean,
no, they were engaged, and then she wanted kids. He didn't want kids, and that's kind of like
that's a Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt thing.
Yeah. What if George Clooney inducted her? That'd be kind of cool. It's not happening, but
yes, but I mean, and other than that, that's all. You got those 4. So you have a 2-hour SmackDown and essentially a 2-hour Hall of Fame ceremony. So you got 4 hours to see Rey Mysterio, $55 to see Rey Mysterio chit chat about his career. And here's the thing, if I wasn't going to see Rey Mysterio that weekend actually in the ring, it might be more worth it, but I'm going to see Rey Mysterio do his craft. He's not done wrestling yet. So this isn't Ric Flair. This isn't Hulk Hogan. This isn't The Undertaker. I'm sorry, but this is an entire night Hall of Fame just for him.
See, you know what?
It's worthy, but I'm just not going to partake in it.
See, you know what would have been, we've talked, you brought this up, I think, a few weeks ago, where what would have probably drew some more people in was Ray gets inducted, and at this point, obviously now we know that him and his son Dominic are going to have a match now. Mm-hmm. Finally, they did the whole blow off last week on SmackDown, but it would have been cool. Where like even up to this point, Ray and Dominic, like Dominic still wants this match. He wants to fight him, and up to this point, nothing's been done. Obviously, that could have sold it where you could have had a cool moment.
It's a little difficult though because once you arrive in Los Angeles, things have to kind of be put in place to an extent. I know the John Cena Undertaker thing a couple years ago wasn't official that they were going to have a match, but the banners are already hanging right now in Los Angeles with all the superstars on them, and the programs have already been printed. So when I flip through the program on Thursday, which is a full day before the Hall of Fame, I'm already going to see Dom and Rey Mysterio, and it's going to say their match is official and it's going to be in the program. So to and they might even already have a T-shirt. I imagine because WrestleMania is one of those shows, sometimes other ones as well, where they have the event T-shirt, but they also have the match T-shirts. They also have like the tail of the tape on the back for Rhea and Charlotte or Cody and Roman.
Mysterio versus
similar
Mysterio.
to we saw at Elimination Chamber. There was Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn shirts that were specific to that match kind of thing. So that there's going to be like some sort of T-shirt to commemorate, Ray versus Dom and the tail of the tape and their, that kind of thing. Just like there's the Hall of Fame shirts that, are for each specific Hall of Fame. You can buy the Undertaker Hall of Fame shirt that says Hall of Fame on it, and on the back it's got his accomplishments. So because of that, and then because they want to sell T-shirts and some merch related to the match, they probably already announced. That's why they already announced it, obviously.
It would have been cool though, because then people can get like a cool moment, but
yeah, and that's the thing too, because this year's WrestleMania is literally all hands on deck in the sense of trying to get everyone and anyone on the actual card, because you have people like Riddle and Randy Orton not currently involved. You have Bray Wyatt, which we don't know. As of right now, he's heard in that match with Bobby Lashley isn't happening. I've heard some rumors that it is still in the works to happen at WrestleMania. I guess we're like a game time decision on that one. Yeah. As of right now, Bobby's in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
I will say this, if it's anything, if it is an injury, because I don't know what the situation really is. I would think, depending on what the situation is, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen Sunday night, just to give it an extra day to see.
I'm hearing, so we're recording this on Monday, and I'm hearing that there's even a chance that later tonight it could be announced. There was a barcode that was out there with the rabbit on it, if you looked it up, that kind of thing. But again, we'll figure that out at the time being. But because everyone's kind of involved in something, and because they have these two showcase tag team matches, which are 100% existing because they have time to fill, because there's currently only 13 matches on the card. That's 6 matches one night, 7 another. Each night is going to be at least 3 hours because it is WrestleMania. You can't have a 2-hour WrestleMania, even if it's per night, right? Because you're paying $100 to park each night, in the lot, if you will.
Better be at least 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So because of that, they're pulling out these tag team showcase matches, and because it seems like everyone, like I said, all hands on deck. That SmackDown has got the Under the Giant Battle Royal, and I don't know match-wise who else you can have compete on Friday night that isn't already involved some way at WrestleMania.
LA Knight.
I mean, well, he's in the Under the Giant Battle Royal.
That's what I mean, LA Knight's.
Is there anyone outside of that Under the Giant Battle Royal and not on the WrestleMania card that you think could compete that's not currently involved in something?
No.
Yeah, everybody. I mean,
No, I mean, unless you want to go with the high level NXT superstars. But
Yeah, like I mean, everybody I can think of is either on the Mania
roster.
card or in that Andre the Giant Battle Royal. So I think SmackDown's going to probably kick off with that Battle Royal. There's a big hot start as they kind of did last year. They're going to kick off with that Battle Royal, and then it's just going to be a lot of just more promos. And I don't mean promos like in ring. I mean like video packages, stuff that's really not going to do anything for the fans in attendance.
But Roman Reigns is going to speak, so
that's
what I've heard. Yep, he's going to be cutting a promo.
So it'll end the night with Roman Reigns coming to the ring saying something.
Which my theory, if that is holds true, that works. That's an A+ promo happening.
So last year they had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Then they had the U.S. title triple threat match, which I think Los Lotharios were the two members competing for the U.S. title.
Yep.
I can't even. Who was the U.S. champion last year? Was it Austin? It wasn't Austin Theory. Who was?
Oh God. Who was the champion last year? Oh God.
Yeah. So whoever was the U.S. champion last year against Los Lotharios. I know the IC champion, or was it the U.S. champion? It was Finn Balor. Might have been Finn Balor. I thought he was in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Oh my God, I can't even think about it now.
But the point is they had those two matches, and then from 8:30 when those matches ended all the way till 9:30 there was nothing. So you sat in the arena and just watched TV like anybody else. And then they brought out Drew McIntyre, and he did a last promo for his match that he had at what was he facing? Baron Corbin.
He had
a promo at the end, and that's how SmackDown went off the air. So he had two matches in the first 30 minutes, an hour of nothing, and then a promo, and then the show was over. Not saying it needs to be much more than that, but I'm not going to attend for that. And then the big wait is to see Rey Mysterio inducted. Yeah, sure, he obviously is worthy. I'm not saying that, but it's not drawing me in.
So you're not going?
John Cena's coming in. Kane or The Rock or one of these people is being inducted. Sure, that's a bigger deal. But
so you're not going?
I'm not going to be going to that on Friday night. I would if I was going to go to wrestling. I'd probably pick that Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor to attend Friday night.
I'm watching that. I'll be watching that Roman Reigns promo because
you can watch that Roman Reigns promo.
I'm going to enjoy an A+ promo.
You'll enjoy an A+ promo. Maybe I'll be at the. I'm probably going to be at the LA Dodgers game. They're taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks.
No, okay, and I was thinking about that because I know you posed that question where baseball, which we all know you're a big baseball guy. Anyone that follows you on socials, we know you're a big baseball guy. If I was in your shoes, say the Red Sox, which is my team, I know you're a Blue Jays fan.
Huh?
If my team was playing in LA at the same time as Friday Night SmackDown and it was just like this, I probably would go baseball. But if it's just a random baseball game, I don't know if I'd go.
Yeah, but again, you're talking about just kind of a random SmackDown,
But it's got Roman Reigns doing an A+ promo, I'm projecting.
But here's the thing. I've been to SmackDown. I've been to enough SmackDowns. I've been to enough Raws and SmackDowns in my lifetime. I'll be going to more. I definitely will be going to more. Go-home shows are already not the best to go to. But like I said, even if this was a go-home show like Raw, where I was expecting a full 3 hours of action, this is a go-home show where, like I said, I expect this Andre the Giant match to happen and then really not much more else. And there's really not anybody in the Andre the Giant battle. It doesn't mean anything. I'm literally paying $50 for one match and then Rey Mysterio.
So are you watching Raw this week then?
Yes, I'll tune in to Raw. I mean, again, it's not mandatory viewing, but I do think it's just a tad bit more important. But for the most part, we're going to go over the WrestleMania matches today as if Raw and SmackDown aren't even happening. Like, they're not really needed to create this weekend. This weekend is already here. The matches are already here. We don't need to watch SmackDown or Raw to essentially get what we need to know heading into WrestleMania anymore.
Yeah, the matches are ready.
WrestleMania could have been last night. It could have been this past weekend, and it would be the same. Yeah. So, this weekend, I will say one thing, and he's been a part of all of the promotions and stuff like that. Snoop Dogg, what do you see his involvement? They haven't mentioned him a lot on WWE. It's been on the socials that people have been stealing his gold belt. A lot of other celebrities and TikTok stars have been running around. So what do we see with this? Obviously, this is a big lead up because he's on the promos for all of this. He's on the poster. He's on the banners. They're going to have a banner with him featuring him, just like they do the superstars. I don't know why, but it's got to be something to do with his gold belt and just to have that celebrity cachet.
I mean, if we're going to talk celebrities, then maybe he gets involved in that Logan Paul situation with Seth Rollins. I
imagine it's something to do with that his gold belt that they gave him.
I just don't know where are they placing him? I just don't know.
I feel like it's going to be a 24/7 spot. I mean, I know they don't have that belt anymore, but similar. It's going to be some sort of perfect running out there, and then some other TikTok star running out there, and then Snoop Dogg coming out there.
So it'll be something cheesy that Snoop Dogg is way better than. Like, why would you do? Like, to me, it sounds like that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So why waste somebody is cool and is like hip and is like well known in the world for that.
Yeah, it's good. Well, I mean, because he's the only celebrity that they're really like. If you look at the poster for WrestleMania or you look at any of the promotions, they have all those superstars, and then he's in there. Like, of all the people you could pull out, right, in LA, celebrity wise, it's just like he's the celebrity that they're using.
Yeah, but it's Snoop Dogg, dude. Snoop Dogg, everybody knows Snoop Dogg.
True.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, so they got to be doing something with him, or they wouldn't have a celebrity at all.
You want to have a celebrity that's actually a wrestling fan, and we know Snoop's a wrestling fan. I mean, he's got family ties to somebody who is not there anymore, but he's a wrestling fan.
That would be the ultimate. That'd be ultimate if he came out there with that belt and said, "Does anybody want to challenge me for that belt?" And then Sasha Banks music hit, but. That's a story. I imagine it's probably going to be somebody out there coming out with the belt, some sort of like, I can't believe Gronk has the belt. That's right, I got the belt. And then Snoop Dogg's music's going to hit, you know what I mean? And they're going to have some sort of promo. Snoop Dogg is going to say something, and people are going to, I can't believe he said that. Oh my, did you hear what and then slap him, bitch slap him or something and take that belt.
Yep.
Some sort of, Snoop Dogg centric thing. And it's going to be what, Michael Cole will be like, well, that's a WrestleMania moment or something stupid.
Yeah, it'll be some sort of tagline. Yeah.
And I will say one thing too, this has been a long time in the making. And this shows you too that the location for WrestleMania doesn't guarantee you what you're going to get. Because I imagine when they booked LA and they talked about how big of a spot this is, how big of a stadium this is, how big of a market this is, they probably thought in their head they were going to have a bigger show, that they were going to have something that you've just, oh my God, I can't believe they're having this kind of thing. And, same when they went to AT&T Stadium, when they drew 101,000 a couple years ago, they probably thought when they were drawing AT&T Stadium, we're going to have, Rock and Hogan for this or something massive the first time around. And then it ended up being, Roman, Triple H and, the undercard matches where they didn't have Cena on the card. I mean, Cena and Rock showed up, but yeah, Cena, I think Seth Rollins was not even on that card because he was hurt. Cena was hurt.
Yeah.
There was like a ton of people that were just not available for that show. And this is kind of one of those examples. When they booked this, I can imagine they were thinking Rock and Roman Reigns. They were thinking that 100% along the way.
And obviously it didn't work.
And, thought, okay, well, we got enough superstars. Then, like I said, you got Roman Reigns, or you got Randy Orton, going out. You currently got Matt Riddle going out. Okay, so that's out of the picture.
So we know Sunday night, the main event. We obviously know it's going to be.
So right now we're looking at Wikipedia here, and it's telling us what are some of the matches for nights 1 and 2? And frankly, I don't know where they're getting this information from, and I've double checked, and I still don't know where they're getting this information from. We know Austin Theory and John Cena announced on WWE programming they are kicking off WrestleMania, but according to Wikipedia, they believe they've got knowledge that Seth Rollins and Logan Paul is going to happen on Saturday night, as same as the 6-woman tag with Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. And then Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are on night number 2. I've got no confirmation on any of that. And I want to say, just like the Hall of Fame, this is the latest watching WWE programming that we don't know more concrete nights that certain matches are going to happen.
If I had to put my eggs in one basket for who's going to main event night 1 and who's going to be on the card for night 1, obviously Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley. I think that's an obvious choice.
Here's a question I have for you, right? Because this is what we've been able to see before in these 2-night WrestleManias, at least in the 2021 and 2022. By the middle of this week, before I arrive in Los Angeles or as I arrive in Los Angeles, will all of the matches have a date? Or do you think they're just going to wing some of these?
I mean, I think the surprise element will be kind of cool where you don't know, like, oh, hey, Gunter's going to be on. You don't want to know if he's on Saturday or Sunday. It's going to make people want to come to the show.
I mean, yeah, like I said, we might know like Austin Theory and John Cena are kicking things off. But other than that, you think they're going to do what they do every year? Are we going to have 6 matches one night, 7 matches another night, exactly where they're going to be? Or are they going to say Roman's your main event, Austin Theory's kicking things off, everything else?
I think like
you'll see.
You're already seeing bits and pieces like stuff that's been we haven't confirmed it. I mean, we're just seeing what we're seeing out there right now. I think you'll see like half the card, that you'll know about. Like you'll see a couple matches on night 1 Saturday night, a couple matches on night 2 on Sunday night, and then from there it's kind of like, okay, so as a ticket holder, and you're like, okay, so what night's Brock Lesnar going to come out? And then you hear his music, you're going to get that cool organic pop.
I guess the thing is, this is just another example. Listen, you're not going to win me on this one, people in the social media world. I believe it, and I think WWE believes it as well. It's 2 nights, sure. It is not 2 events. It is 1 event. And and I don't even understand, it's a silly question to ask. I've been asked, which night do you go to? It's not like, I'll be honest with you, attending WrestleMania, listen, I would rather be 1 night than 2 nights, sure. But it is 2 nights, so I got to go 2 nights. It isn't an option. I don't, like, it's weird to me.
Why would you go to half the show?
And especially too, when you don't even know. And I brought this up with like a music festival. So like a music festival is like 3 days long. And some people just go Friday, some people just go Sunday, some people go all 3 days. But that's different because when they announce the festival, they announce it with the bands. You do not buy tickets to Lollapalooza day one not knowing which bands are playing day one. You do not buy tickets for anything not knowing the lineup. With this, they don't give you the lineup. When tickets went on sale in August, they gave you a picture of some wrestlers that you could or could not see, and they put the days on sale without any sort of, even theory of what you're expecting to see. Even with Raw and SmackDown, I mean, we know the Raw guys, we know the SmackDown guys. You have an idea of who you're going to see those nights when you buy tickets to Raw and or SmackDown. But with this, when they're selling you tickets, you're just buying Saturday. What are we presenting to you on Saturday? We don't even know yet. So I don't understand how people, I guess if you live locally and you can only go Saturday, like meaning like you couldn't go at all, it's either this or nothing. But if you're somebody who's trying to go to WrestleMania, like you would try to have gone to WrestleMania in the past,
you go both
nights.
You
gotta go the way it's going. It's WrestleMania.
I look at it like this. I look at it like, it's a 2-part like season finale of a show. Like you're not going to just watch the one like you want to watch the whole thing. It's just that's like you're not going to watch part 1 or you're going to watch part 2. You want to see the whole thing together.
Yeah, if like at the end of it a show says to be continued. You know what I mean? I get it that, with movies, you don't always have to see the sequels, but some movies recently, I think with like some like the Harry Potters and the Lord of the Rings or whatever, they've been making them in like 2 parts where this is like done. Well, I don't know Harry Potter, but this Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone part 1, meaning that this movie is going to end with essentially like a stop where you got to continue it on movie 2 or you haven't seen the full movie. And I think that's the case with this.
Well, they're doing a lot of that, I believe. And I might be wrong because I'm not the biggest movie buff, especially nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not, I don't know. I'm not a big movie fan of current stuff, but like you have like the DC stuff and the Marvel stuff. I feel like it's all like,
but even with that, like I said, you're kind of advertising what you're getting. Like here, like if they don't announce the matches,
but the stories do continue.
What are you, but with this though, like I said, if they don't announce the matches, what are you paying to see? You're just paying to see part of WrestleMania. This is the same as if you went to WrestleMania before and you just left halfway through. Like this is not, with WWE, like I said, it's not like bands. People aren't Gunther fans. People aren't Seth Rollins fans specifically. They're wrestling WWE fans. You're going to see WrestleMania. No one's just going to be like, tell me when Seth Rollins wrestles. I'm going to go, maybe his family is. But other than that, it's like when you get tickets to go see. So one thing I'm going to see when I'm in Los Angeles, I got tickets to see Jimmy Kimmel Live on Wednesday. Okay. So I'm going to see Jimmy Kimmel Live. I don't know the guest. My going there wasn't being determined on the guest. My going there was determined on going to see Jimmy Kimmel Live. Whatever the guest star, the guest star. If it's a good show, it's a good show. If it's a bad show, it's a bad show. Whatever, it's free, obviously. But like I wasn't going to see the guests as much, because I don't know who they are. So I can't say, I'm only going because Ben Affleck's going to be there. I don't know if he's going to be there. I heard rumors he might be, but he's got that new movie he's promoting about Michael Jordan, right? But other than that, like you said, you don't buy tickets. You don't you don't put yourself in the lottery to go see Saturday Night Live under specific guest. You go because you want to go see the show. Whatever the guest star is a guest star. And same with WrestleMania. I bought tickets for both nights because whatever matches are announced for WrestleMania, I can say, I can't wait to see that, or I want to see that. I don't want to hear Finn Balor and Edge talk about their Hell in a Cell match and go like, I don't even know if I'm going to see that.
See, but I'll be honest.
That'd be weird.
I'll be honest. I think we all have our favorite wrestlers. So,
we do have our favorite wrestlers, but like I said, you can't even, if Edge is your favorite wrestler, you still can't buy a ticket because you don't even know as of right now. This is just days away.
That's what my point is, though. That's why I'm thinking WWE might do this because they want people to make sure they go to both shows. Because they're like, okay, we know there's a lot of people that like Edge. We know there's a lot of people that like Lesnar. Like, all right, we're gonna leave certain matches out of the picture. We're just gonna they're just gonna show up when they show up, and then you know what? Say Edge is on Sunday night, but maybe you're like, maybe he's gonna be there Saturday. And then you're gonna be like, I have to go Sunday now if I want to see Edge.
Yeah, it's just. You gotta just go both. Like if you're flying on a plane or you're doing any kind of traveling to go here.
If you're like Jared, you're going from New York to LA. Like you're not going just for one night. You're going for the whole experience. Like,
what am I gonna watch the other half in the hotel room? Like, come on now.
At that point, you might as well not even fly out.
Yeah, I mean you got to just go to the show. The show is, as of right now, it's 13 matches. I'm going for all 13 matches. I'm going to WrestleMania. I'm going to see anything that is considered to be WrestleMania. I don't necessarily think the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, sometimes, it's hit or miss, but essentially that's like the pre-show. And, it's even so much more the pre-show now, because even in the pre-show days, I went and saw the pre-show if these were announced matches that were a part of WrestleMania that maybe got pushed at the last minute to the pre-show. Like, I can't wait to see Brock Lesnar and Omos. And then as I'm at the event, they're telling me, that's going to be on the pre-show or maybe the night before. So those are even like the IC title between Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose in 2017. That's a WrestleMania match. It's on the back of my shirt as a match on the WrestleMania card. Got pushed to the pre-show, essentially becomes part of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So if for some reason they told me Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre is now on SmackDown, I might have to go to SmackDown because that's now WrestleMania getting pushed over.
We do know that's not happening.
Yeah.
We know those three guys.
So any matches of these 13 are your WrestleMania matches. If some of them show up on the pre-show or whatever, then I guess I got to show up for the pre-show. If they're not going to be on the pre-show, then I don't.
Know because they might announce it last minute.
Yeah. So either way, I'll be there for what they consider to be WrestleMania, right? So let's kind of go over the matches a little bit here. Austin Theory, John Cena, U.S. titles on the line. So what do you expect to be happening here?
Austin Theory's going to retain, obviously.
Yeah, I think that we talked about that before with championships being on the line in events like this. It's difficult because, like I said, Austin Theory's champ. John Cena is probably not making a run with the U.S. title.
It's a one-off.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they have him do double duty, win the belt, and then lose it on Sunday or something like that. Some sort of kind of like the Stone Cold double appearance last year.
And he would. John Cena would do it if he could.
Yeah, he could show up for night number 2. He's not showing up for the long term. Let's be serious. And John Cena is definitely somebody who puts people over. You know what I mean? Yeah, he put over The Rock when The Rock was obviously going away and didn't have a reason to win.
John Cena is one of those guys. He cares about the business, and he knows that Austin Theory is the future of the business. So I think, like you said, I think he's going to do everything in his power to make Austin Theory just look like a freaking $1 million. And then Austin Theory's, he's already on that trajectory, anyways. But like now, if you get that John Cena rub, it's literally just putting like NOS in your fire, like in your rocket suit, and you're just flying even farther.
Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch in that 6-woman tag against Damage Control. Obviously, I see the good guys winning here.
Yeah, I don't see how Trish, Lita, and Becky don't win this.
There's another possible thing though, right? You have that Showcase Tag Team Women's match. Maybe the winners of that take on like Lita and Becky Lynch on night number 2 or something. Because obviously you want to get the belts off of Lita, because I don't see her making a long run with this. But maybe that's a possibility.
But it might be like the Monday Night Raw after type of thing.
Yeah, and Seth Rollins, Logan Paul. I see probably. I don't know who's going to win this. Probably Logan Paul. But either way, it's going to be good. I think that's probably one of the more entertaining.
I think Logan Paul has done a really good job. Like he's obviously his quality on the mic. Like we've seen what he can do in the ring, and even in the limited action. Like, and Seth Rollins can make anybody look like $1 million anyways. And then Logan Paul has those natural gifts that not everybody has. So I think that's going to be a quality match. You have to have some heels that go over. So in this case, I think I got to go Logan Paul.
Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio. That's obviously the most recent named match. Son versus father. I think it's probably going to be entertaining. I think Dominic Mysterio has been getting better and better as time has gone on. If this was like 2 years ago, probably would have sucked. But I think he's getting better as time goes on.
You think Ray knew that?
Dominic Mysterio, let's be real. He is somebody who there isn't anybody who's gotten their foot in the door more so because of their name than Dominic Mysterio ever. Clearly.
Well, yeah. He would still be working. Like if he didn't have that name, he'd be working still at a local
But he's
VFW.
gotten a lot better. I'm going to give him credit though. In his time,
yeah.
Nothing's going to prepare you better to play in the NBA than playing in the NBA, right? And because of that, he maybe didn't deserve to be in WWE when it started, but he has definitely he's definitely tried to earn his stripes.
Well, he's definitely taken the bump, so to speak. Like he's definitely earned it. I feel like at this point, like yes, was he handed the keys to the kingdom? Sure, yeah, I'm not going to argue that. But Dominic Mysterio, he's played this whole gimmick well. Like he's just, he just kind of comes off like he obviously is like he comes off as like my mommy is tougher than me kind of thing. Like, but I did hard time and like
it's been entertaining. It's been similar like that. Remember that Miz and Maurice tag team against John Cena and Nikki Bella that were like, this is going to be, when we heard it was going to be announced, we're like, this is going to be awful. And then as the
actually,
promos came about, you're like, this is entertaining
you're like,
as hell.
I'm ready.
I remember hearing about that months in advance. Like, I think The Miz was the current champion at the time. And you're like, yeah, he's going to drop the belt and it's going to be Miz and Maurice versus John Cena. And you're like, what a waste. A mixed tag team with those big stars.
And they delivered.
And they delivered, at least promo-wise, they definitely delivered.
Yeah, the match was,
and Dominic Mysterio has been delivering promo-wise, definitely as of late.
Yeah, his mic skills have come a long way. Like, he just, to me, I think for him, it was... He just needed more confidence, and I think that's where it comes in. Like he like when you come in as green as he was, you're gonna expect him not to do that well. But I think as he's gotten many chances to work on his game, so to speak, he's got a chance to be somebody who's going to be around the business for a long time.
Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, what many are thinking should be the main event of Saturday night, if you will, because it's definitely got that main event kind of feel to it. I don't know where they'll put it on the card. WrestleMania is one of those places you don't really need, the idea is there's supposed to be good matches from top to bottom. So, you don't really need it the main event, right? But either way, it's one of the highly anticipated ones.
Yeah, it should not only is it anticipated, but I think it's going to be one of the last 3 matches of the night.
And do you see the end of the Usos' reign coming at the hands of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say, I'll say yes.
I'm surprised it took us as long to get here as it did, because we saw this months ago.
You know the reason why?
Even when they were still together, I saw Roman versus Sami at Elimination Chamber, saw the turn happen in the Rumble, the match at Elimination Chamber, this happening at WrestleMania, and it just took so long to actually confirm with the whole Jay and Sammy on the same page until the very last minute.
Here's why I say this. Here's why I say, the Owens and Zayn win. I think it would be cool to see. They've rekindled their brotherhood, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I think it would be cool to see them go over, get the titles, end that historic reign by the Usos, and then eventually, where it's leading. It's leading to a turn on. Someone's going to turn on. One's going to turn on the other, and then we're going to have. This gets set up for. SummerSlam. This could be one of those
Jay,
games.
Jimmy, and Roman Reigns in a triple threat.
Here's the thing. You could play this out. You could let the storyline build all the way up to SummerSlam and have something happen there, or you could even. This is long-term booking. I don't know if it'll happen, but fantasy booking it. You could have it come around full circle as WrestleMania next year. I've seen WWE doing more of these long-term reigns, which is kind of cool because it's not so many transitional belts. I like the fact that they've put a little more oomph into these belts where it's like, it doesn't change hands every other pay-per-view. Like, when someone has the belt, you're like, all right, well, like Roman Reigns, he's had the belt forever, it feels like. Usos, they've had the belt for a long time. It's nice. It's nice to see long title reigns.
Absolutely. That's what made this whole Bloodline story so good.
100%.
For so long. The men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. I don't necessarily know if that means elimination style, so one pinfall to a finish. Do you care who wins this? Because I really don't. It's Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders versus Alpha Academy. Frankly, I'm glad Braun Strowman and Ricochet are on the card. I find them to be entertaining. I like them. I think they were in the Battle Royals of years past, so good to see somebody like Braun Strowman on the actual main card. Same with Ricochet. And I think it was Ricochet who was the U.S. champion actually against both Lotharios last year on that SmackDown.
You know what this is? You know what this match is? It's just the best.
It's filler.
The best tag teams that are not the Usos that are going to.
If there was a pre-show, this would be on it. Yeah, it's just a filler.
You're getting all the quality tag teams on the show. That's what you're doing. And here's the thing: it'll probably be a decent match because we know what Braun Strowman and Ricochet do. Street Profits are known for some good stuff. Alpha Academy, they're doing they do their thing. Viking Raiders are very good. These are all really good competitors. I'm just curious to see how the match is going to flow. Is it going to be one of those matches where everybody gets their stuff in and then someone takes? It's just going to be. It's an example of why WrestleMania isn't the best of the best. It's just everyone who's currently employed by WWE getting all hands on deck. Let's go. Exactly. None of these people essentially were in a storyline that earned their spot at WrestleMania. This match was just created. Another match just created, and I think because of this match, another year will go by where we don't have that women's battle royal because, you don't got the women to do it because you got 2 women's championship matches, obviously, on this card, but then you have the rest of the women being used here. And you got the tag team 6-women tag, but then
the best of the rest, I guess. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natty and Shotzi versus Ronda and Shayna versus Team TBA in a fatal 4-way women's WrestleMania Showcase tag team match. Again, this match exists because, one, they didn't have enough people to make a battle royal. If they could find like 6 or more women, they'd probably just made that women's battle royal.
Yep.
But they didn't have enough, but they had enough to make this tag. What do you see that Team TBA? Do you see anything exciting there? Or do you see it just probably being Carmella and it was Carmella and who else? I can't think of the name offhand.
Oh, the Chelsea Green? No?
Yeah, Chelsea Green and Carmella. You just being them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we go. I mean, there's not going to be. Well, we know it's not going to be the Bella twins.
Yeah,
because obviously they're now the Garcia twins, so we're not going to see anything like that. So I mean, that's probably where it goes. I mean, what about? I'm trying to think of her name off the top of my head. Tegan Knox. What about something with her?
You know, a lot of people would hate this, but I'd love for, it to be a number one contendership for the tag team championships. And then, the next night, maybe be like Ronda and Shayna versus Lita and Becky or something like that. I know people hate Ronda as of late, but, maybe that or Liv Morgan and Raquel.
She's really fallen off the
Boy, she
pillar.
was the attraction. She went from main event in WrestleMania.
And here's the sad part. She, like you said, right? It was, Ronda Rousey WrestleMania. Yeah, woohoo! And then it's like she's on SmackDown. Okay, that's okay to go take a piss. It's kind of
she was the attraction for a minute.
Now she's just filler. I feel like.
Back to WrestleMania caliber matches. Edge and Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell, the first Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania since Undertaker and Shane McMahon, which could also further hopefully kill the Hell in a Cell specific pay-per-view, seeing that you wait until it's worthy of having the match. One, do you see this being a red cell, or do you see this going back to being a regular cell?
I would say regular cell.
You think a regular cell? Yeah. So you think they dropped the red cell for this?
I would hope so.
Because they've been doing that for the pay-per-views, that red cell. It's difficult to watch.
I know. I just want to see the regular cell.
If it's the red cell, it'd be the first time the red cell has made an appearance at a WrestleMania.
I'd say
it's only been on those specific pay-per-views.
Keep it like OG.
Who do you see winning this match?
Edge.
You see Edge winning? Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's WrestleMania. It's one of those you got to go with the faces for the most part.
Yeah, you want to get them over.
A definite match everyone's looking forward to. Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, the Intercontinental Championship on the line.
That's going to be a brawl.
Gunther, another long title reign here. I'm excited to see this match. I see Drew McIntyre winning, and I see Drew McIntyre getting essentially a WrestleMania moment that he was deprived of at WrestleMania 36 and then didn't get at WrestleMania 37 when they had him lose to Bobby. So I see him winning here and getting his moment.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm just going to add one more layer to it. I think Drew's going to get the fall against Sheamus, and then Gunther. So Gunther's going to look like a champ because he's not going to take the fall. He's essentially going to be out of the situation. It's going to be between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for the pinfall, and Drew McIntyre, like you said, I think he's finally going to get that post-COVID WrestleMania moment that he deserves. Because people forget that 2020 was a tough year for obviously the whole world, but also for a guy like Drew McIntyre, he got to be the face of the business in front of like nobody, in front of TV screens.
He won the Royal Rumble in front of 50,000 people in Houston, and then that was all she wrote.
I think this would be a good moment. And again, I think Gunther, I think he walks away without the belt, but also where he looks like $1 million because him and Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, just to name a few. Those are the guys that I think WWE internally feels like are like top guys.
Brock Lesnar and Omos. I think you got to have Omos win here. If the idea is that Brock is obviously doing a similar thing as John Cena, he's not going to be sticking around. He's not challenging for the title next month. If Omos is somebody who you want to be this imposing guy, you got to have him win.
Yeah, I say the same thing. Omos is definitely the choice. What I'm trying to figure out is what kind of match are we going to have here? Because Omos is still very limited. Brock doesn't do a lot.
It's going to be short.
Yeah, it's going to be
It's going to be one of those, like, who can put the first move on him. It's going to be like attempt for a suplex, it's not going to work. And then Omos is going to attempt to do a move, it's not going to work. And it's going to be like that battle of the strength before one of them finally gets their move down. And then
So what do you think? Do you think Omos, like you're going to see a crazy moment where Omos gets picked up by Brock Lesnar and like body slammed or suplexed? Do you think
I think a moment like Omos picks up Brock Lesnar.
You think so?
Does like an Hogan Andre kind of thing.
The thing that gets me that's interesting about this, like Brock was like not willing to do business reportedly with Bray Wyatt, but he's willing to do business with Omos. I'm kind of curious about that. So to me, obviously Brock sees enough in Omos. Maybe he puts Omos over. Maybe it's maybe Brock is starting to give back. You know what I mean? Like that would be cool.
Here's a good example of I know we've seen Brock and Bobby already, but boy. they could go back in time and knew what they knew, they would have probably saved that Brock and Bobby till Mania. They'd have rather had an Omos Bray Wyatt match probably get scrapped than the one that they ended up having as of right now getting scrapped.
Yep.
Bianca and Asuka for the Raw Women's Champion. Asuka, she what is she? She won. I'm trying to think. Yeah, she won the Elimination Chamber. Trying to even think how we got here.
Yep.
Forgetting who won the Royal Rumble. It was
I know
it was Rhea Ripley who won the Royal Rumble.
Feels like forever, you know.
But Asuka won the Elimination Chamber. She's taking on Bianca Belair's championship reign. Very long championship reign coming to an end.
No.
All right, Bianca is still going to be the face of Monday Night Raw. And then Charlotte and Rhea, a rematch of what we were supposed to see in Tampa in 2020 with Charlotte, who won the Royal Rumble, challenging Rhea's NXT Championship. This time it's Rhea who won the Royal Rumble, challenging the SmackDown Championship of Charlotte Flair.
This is the match where I think this closes night one, and I think Rhea Ripley's the champion.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta probably have. I mean, listen, Charlotte's like Brock. She can lose, she can disappear for a minute, she can come back and pretend like this never happened. And then we make on to the main event of the whole show. I mean, clearly. It's Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. There's been some dispute. Obviously, Roman Reigns isn't in a lot of the features for upcoming shows on the posters and ticket promos and stuff like that. But they keep talking about that 1,000-day reign. Do you think we're getting to that 1,000-day reign with Roman Reigns?
No.
Or do you think Cody Rhodes, quote unquote, finishes the story and is the champion?
Cody Rhodes finishes the story, and Roman Reigns is going to take a sabbatical, and he'll come back a few months down the line. I think this is going to be a perfect time.
This would be so much easier to pick if they haven't done what they've done with Roman Reigns. Because listen, I thought Edge was leaving WrestleMania as champion. I was wrong. I thought Brock Lesnar was leaving WrestleMania as champion. I was wrong. Happily wrong. WWE, for some reason, with Roman Reigns, they even pulled it on Drew McIntyre. I thought he was winning the belt then. They've pulled all these swerves on like, what else can he do? Who else can he beat? And Cody, they have him win.
I just think, to me, it just makes too much sense. And then the key is Cody wins. Who's next?
I will say one thing. A lot of people love WWE in their long-term storyline. I think the long-term storyline here is Roman Reigns being champion, but you can't tell me that it led to Cody Rhodes, because when Roman Reigns started this storyline, Cody Rhodes wasn't in WWE or even thought to be coming to WWE. But so you can't tell me that this was your go home all along, because it wasn't.
No, but I mean, you could always tie it, which they have already tied it and done a really great job of tying it in, where Roman Reigns was taken under the wing of the late great Dusty Rhodes. So like, there's always
you can always go there, but I think obviously Roman and Rock was obviously the picture that they had in mind. And I don't
This is not a bad consolation.
I don't think they really had Roman Reigns. They had a long-term championship reign in mind, but I don't think they ever had in mind this long and who would specifically be the one.
When Cody Rhodes, and my projection is, I think Cody Rhodes wins. When Cody Rhodes wins, Roman Reigns needs to take a break. Why you can't have him show up on the next show, like after he loses? You gotta like it has to be.
You gotta Brock Lesnar him or Undertaker him. I get it. Yeah.
You have to make it where Cody Rhodes just wins in such a great way, and maybe they sell it where Roman gets hurt really bad in the storyline, and where he's like, all right, well, like, oh my God, he took down the tribal chief, and oh man, what do we do next? And then he'll show up like a month or two later or something to come after Cody Rhodes. And then here's the other part. Here's the other layer that there's. Rumors are making the rounds. Randy Orton could be back in the picture here pretty quick.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of rumors that Randy Orton is going to be around. And let me tell you, I will say one thing. Why is that of any shocker? Yes, he's been around forever. He's not going to be gone forever. And you forget that the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, that's like why it exists. So the fact that Randy Orton could be coming back to WWE, that somebody's coming back to WWE, and why not Randy Orton? Nobody said he was gone forever.
You know what's going to be, right?
He'll come back the night after WrestleMania. And
RK Bro is going to be back at Monday night.
I'm thinking he's coming back on Monday night, and I think he's going right at Cody Rhodes. And that's how you end Monday Night Raw.
I don't know. Something tells me that something's going to happen with him and Riddle. I don't know.
Or I think maybe he comes back on Monday Night Raw, and he shakes Cody Rhodes' hands to kick off Monday Night Raw, and maybe they tag team up, and in the main event, he makes the turn. And quick like that.
I'm okay with that. That'd be a good way of selling it, because they obviously have a past. Obviously, they've known each other many years. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, somebody who's currently in good terms with the company, who was healing an injury, who was eventually going to come back. Like, wow, I can't believe he might come back. That's what this whole spot is. Finn Balor was perfectly healthy. I saw him at a house show about a month before WrestleMania in Orlando. He wasn't on WrestleMania in Orlando because they were specifically saving him for the night after to make his official return there. I think they're doing that here with Randy Orton. I think they're probably doing that here with Matt Riddle. I'm trying to think if there's any females or anybody else I can't think of, but that's what that Raw is for.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And I think, I don't know, for some reason, I feel like I feel like there's going to be some sort of situation with Randy and Riddle. I don't know. They got to finish that off somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to build it. I mean, I don't care which way they go. Like, I'm cool with Orton going against Riddle in some way, shape, or form. I'm cool with Orton obviously going against Rhodes. There's options there. There's plenty of options there because maybe Gunther gets moved over, and he challenges Cody. I mean, you don't know.
That's the best part about WrestleMania. It's supposed to be the great reset on all of this stuff where we get to kind of like reset the clock and start fresh with a lot of things and see where people get to go from here on out.
It's, every year the ball drops and it's New Year's. After WrestleMania's over, the main event's over, the pyro and all that. That's essentially our ball dropping for a new year of WWE programming.
And we will see what that entails following WrestleMania, the Raw after, and all that and so much more. Hey, I haven't put it out yet because of the whole not attending SmackDown, and I do want to go I've been to the Crypto.com arena for a LA Clippers game of all things to have attended. It was just what it was. They were home for a playoff game, and I was in town. But hey, maybe I'll be attending NXT on Saturday morning. Time will tell. I would like to attend some other wrestling things, but either way, I'll be there. I'm going to probably be at the Superstore on Thursday, right when they open up, getting my hands on some merchandise, because rarely am I ever in town with a few days in advance. Normally I'm getting there Friday or something like that, but I'll be there Thursday, right when this stuff really kicks off. I can't wait myself. Should be a fun time in Los Angeles. I am a little disappointed we're not getting Florida-style weather. I think it's going to be actually pretty similar to what it is here, but the difference is it's not going to be 30 degrees overnight, so the palm trees aren't going to be dead and died off. It's going to look like summer, but just be a little bit chillier, like what spring essentially should look like in the state of New York. But for this week's edition of the show, he's Brandon, I'm Jared. It's WrestleMania week. Wherever you're watching WrestleMania, enjoy. Like I said, make sure you follow us at Heel to the Face on Twitter, and we will talk to you next week.